right. So, Special Forces, I guess this is Season 3, Episode 7. And I have to admit, my favorites are struggling. Well, except for Brody. Brody's doing fine. So, in the first task, we only had one pass. And the only reason Carrie was part of that passing team is because Kayla actually possesses a brain. Because Golden and Alana came ever so close to using their brains. But they were like, oh, we're being, pushed. This is our target. We're just gonna, ignore our gut and leave people behind. Everybody else didn't even blink, didn't even bat an eye over the fact that there were people left behind. I was most disappointed in Cam, not because he left people behind, because he seemed smug about, well, you only told us the one target. But that he didn't even notice they exist. That it was like, clear, clear, clear. That just shocked me. That, Cam's not like, well, there's more over there. Let's look over there or something. So yeah, Cam very disappointed me. Everybody pretty much disappointed me, especially Golden and Alana, because they were there. They were so close to getting it. And they decided to not do what they were supposed to do. What, they didn't know what a grenade would do? Throwing a grenade would, I don't know, kill people? I realize this is a war game, but Jesus Christ. And Christy, seriously, oh, he might have been a fake hostage. Possibly, but, you can deal with that later. Assume that he's not, and then once you discover you were wrong, then deal with it. Otherwise, you end up with a dead innocent. So Christy seriously pissed me off. At least the others were just, laser focused on the mission and ignoring all the outside noise. She actually came up with a reason, a justification for leaving them behind. Now, whether she was doing that more for her to justify the fact she done fucked up, or if she truly believed that, that maybe her husband told her that such a thing is possible or whatever. But either way, she turns out to not be the person I thought she was. She did that. Her Bergen was too light, which makes you wonder all those times where she didn't have a problem carrying the Bergen, makes you wonder how long it was too light for her. That was not too light for her, but too light. Because obviously the fact that they had to be told to put their arms out, well, one of them had to be told to put their arms out to hold the scale, leads me to believe that this isn't something that has been a daily occurrence. That this was the first time she was caught. That this is the first time that they weighed. So God knows how long she'd been working with a too light Bergen. So you knew that they were going to get it eventually. Because, oh gee, they're not going to punish them. That's surprising. So, of course, they punished them late at night. So, Carrie had this bad cough, and I'm like, oh, is he going to have to withdraw because he's sick? Please don't let that be the reason, because, I mean, it's one thing to be medically withdrawn. I mean, that sucks regardless. But because you got a cold, that just would doubly suck. So yeah, and even the DS, even staff were like, yeah, this is going to mess them up, meaning Golden and Alana, because they knew the right thing to do was to save all those people. And they chose not to because they were feeling pressured, because staff was yelling at them, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing? Which doesn't necessarily mean you're doing something wrong. It just means that, you know, the staff is laser focused, because in theory, this is, you know, maybe over radio, you're talking to someone who doesn't know what you're seeing. So they might not know that there are other hostages. So when they're yelling at him, it's not because they're doing anything wrong. It's because they want to know what's happening, because they're acting the part of, we are not on this mission with you. We are just trying to find out what's happening. So yeah, which probably pissed off Golden even more than he already was, you know, with the fail, because he knew that he was supposed to do that. And Billy pointed that out. You knew. You were going to go back. You were doing the right thing, and then you changed your mind. So, yeah. Golden especially is going to need so much therapy after this season. Alana probably will too, but Golden seems like he's going to need a lot more therapy than her. So, they go back. I'm surprised they didn't actually punish them for, you know, only one team passing, and it's only because Kayla was forceful and said, no, we need to go back and save all these people, because Carrie was going to do the same thing. And it even shocked staff that Carrie was going to just focus on what he was told, what the mission is, and not think, maybe instead of blowing innocent people up, we should save all of them. So actually that surprised me as well. And like I said, I was disappointed in Cam, because what the hell, dude? You should be that observant. The fact that he wasn't smart enough to think, oh, let's save innocent lives, that doesn't shock me. He doesn't sound like, I mean, he doesn't sound like he's the dumbest person in the world, but he doesn't seem that incredibly smart. I mean, this man is not going to be mistaken for a genius. So that doesn't surprise me, but that he just wasn't even observant enough to notice that there were more people. Like I said, Christy's reasoning for leaving people behind pissed me the hell off, and it obviously did not sit well with staff, as it shouldn't have. So then the staff decides, I think it was between the two missions, staff decides to speak with Christy. And she gives this sob story about that her life was structured and suddenly she became an adult. And she told her mom to take a hike. And, you know, that she just couldn't handle all this independence. She obviously needed, you know, to get independent a bit more slowly. And she went from being suffocatingly stringent in her in the way she was being brought up, to having carte blanche to do whatever you wanted. So she became an alcoholic. So, yeah, this was a therapy session like you expect. And, I'm surprised nobody asked her about why her Bergen was too light. Nobody asked her about that. They just tried to, this was more of a therapy session. All of these questions are generally therapy sessions, unless you're Cam, in which case they will actually ask about what you did that day, whether it's a submission or whatever. So, I don't know why they didn't ask her, why was your Bergen too light? So, and better question, how long has it been that way? So, she seemed to appreciate the therapy session. Let me just, I think this is, okay. I thought my microphone was coming out. So, so she appreciated the session. And so then they went and they were doing their second task, which anybody who is afraid of heights, this is their worst nightmare. And so Rudy was demonstrating. So it's been a while since we had a task demonstrated. And Rudy was hanging on, and he was hanging on for 30 seconds. So I thought that's what is expected of them. But it was more like, hang on as long as you can. It's just that most people were hanging on for 30 seconds. Of the guys, I don't think any of the girls managed to hang on. They, each and every one slipped. They didn't even grab the wire at all. And then there was Kyla, who was having a hard time even getting to where she needed to be. And Cam, as much as he sometimes bugs the crap out of me, he is, because he's a quarterback, he's very much about building people up. So he was encouraging Kyla. But like I said, none of the girls actually grabbed the wire. They all immediately fell. It was all the guys who managed. I think all three of them made the 30-second mark. Brody, I was unsure about, because it looked like, I didn't catch the timer. It looked like he was, if he didn't hit 30 seconds, he was oh so close. And then there was Golden, who managed for 49 seconds, because he was going to hang on there until his arms fell off. And he was hanging on, he was yelling, he was motivating himself, and you could see Billy had mad respect for Golden in that moment. He was like, damn. But, so it seems like he by far exceeded everybody in hanging onto the wire. And I was so happy for him, because up until that point, all DS ever did was yell at him. And so now we have him, getting praise. And, so yeah, Golden was very, very happy about that. That, you know, he finally got praise from staff. And so they get back and they notice that Carrie's knee looked like this. I mean, out that way like this. It was just, what the hell? I mean, that looked like my knee when my arthritis acts up. I think I might have mentioned it in my other channel, but I have osteoarthritis in my knees. Well, not just my knees, but in my knees. And so yeah, my knees, actually, when I first was diagnosed, it was when my entire leg, my lower leg, was like a hobbit leg. It was so big, and I literally could not walk on it. I mean, luckily I can still jump on one leg, so I was jumping. It was that bad. So that's what his knee looked like. Like one of my knees when, oddly enough, I also used to get hyaluronic acid injections in my knees because that was supposed to help. It wasn't. It was actually taking longer and longer for my knees to recover from that. In case any of you who also have osteoarthritis were considering that. At least for me, it sucked. And actually, I think I've heard studies saying that that actually makes things worse. But, yeah, that's basically what my knees would look like. So yeah, and it was just simply that he broke his femur. He was happily telling them where his femur ended up. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. As if we didn't know he was tough before. I mean, he did say he broke 80 bones in his career, so he was showing everybody what's, and oh boy, all those tattoos. I was actually expecting someone to ask him about those as well, but nobody did. Why is this? Okay. So, then they, I don't think they even made it back to their bunks. They were still changing, and they decided to call them out to the parade. And this was time for their punishment, because Christy couldn't be bothered to keep her Bergen the right weight. Which, I'm surprised, like I said, I'm surprised nobody asked her, why does your Bergen not weigh as the correct amount? What did you take out? Or what the hell is going on? You know, let's open up your Bergen, let's see what's in it. Nothing. You know, it was just, let's punish her for having a light Bergen, but let's not find out why. I mean, I don't know if she took something out, or if the things that she had in there just happened to not weigh as much. I don't know. Nobody is saying. So it's time to do the bee sting. And Kyla and Christy are having all sorts of issues, especially Kyla. But, you know, she's not giving up, so good for her. She's not giving up. And as Billy mocks her for doing the frog jump. But while they're doing this, Carrie fell. And I mean, he fell hard because he actually yelled. And you know that it's got to be something. I don't know if it was just the surprise of the fall or if something happened. We found out later something happened. But at the time, because he doesn't yell just because, you know. And so 2 by 2, the staff was telling people, okay, you can go in. It doesn't surprise me at all that Golden and Cam were the first ones to be dismissed. But Golden was, I mean, they've got to, if these two are ever interested in acting and doing a TV show, they would make a great buddy comedy, because this was hilarious. Golden asking Cam to hold his hand. And then I think Foxy came in, or maybe it was Q, I can't remember now. And they're like, why are you holding his hand? Because he asked me to. And I'm a good friend. So, yeah. That was hilarious. I cannot lie. I was laughing at that one. So then, the last two people standing were Carrie and Kyla. And by last two people standing, I mean the last two people to be dismissed. And, yeah, they were less than enthused at their effort. And I still would love to know why they didn't go after Christy and ask, why is your Bergen too light? You know, did you put everything back in that was supposed? No question. I guess that this is just them, you know, making a mental check mark. It's like, okay, you messed up that one time by, you know, not following directions. Next time you're out, maybe? I don't know. I honestly do not know why they didn't look at her Bergen, find out what she left out, find out why she left it out. But I guess that they're just like, yeah, fine. We're going to punish you. You either going to, you're either going to have your Bergen be the correct weight from now on, or, you know, you're out. Maybe that's their mentality. Let's see. What else did I want to mention about this episode? Oh, yes. And then the heartbreaker. Cam's wrist is hurting him. His ankle or his knee, I can't remember which one, was killing him. And people are like, you need to go to the medic. Which he does. And you know that he must be in a lot of pain. Because Carrie doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who's going to complain about the slightest thing. You know, it's got to be pretty bad before he's going to yell out or complain. So his wrist might be fractured. His knee might be as well. It's like, oh, sure, why not? Of course, I don't think the medic is aware that his knee is just naturally like that, but... So, he tells everyone that he's out, and everyone's bummed. Even staff were like, this is not what we wanted. We were looking forward to you making it to the end. So, and everybody is bummed because they all thought Carrie was going to make it to the end. My new favorite is still going to be Brody. Because he seems to still be pretty with it. He's not getting super emotional about anything. I mean, yeah, he fails things. He doesn't win every challenge. But, you know, he's just being very chill about everything. So, Brody is definitely my new favorite. Like I said, I used to think Christy was, but she was a mess this episode, especially finding out that her Bergen was too light, which, again, I wonder how long that's been. Which also makes me wonder if they're going to check the Bergens every day from now on to make sure that everyone's Bergen is the correct weight. And if and at what point they're going to ask her what the hell. So now we are down to 7 recruits, which you knew it was going to happen. Now, Kyla, it's great that she persevered today, but I think that she's just run out of gas. I honestly do not know how much longer she's going to last. Christy, I really don't know what to make of her. I really don't know anymore. So, I believe that is all I had for this episode. I don't know what they have in store for episode 8. Apparently, they're jumping off a bridge again. So, we'll just have to see. And the fact that you hear Billy trying to get one of the recruits to stop, makes me worried that it's one of those where you jump off the bridge and you have to just keep going until you get to the ground. And that you just have to properly time it with your descent so you're not going too fast. And so you can stop without killing yourself. What they're going to do after that, I do not know. And because they said they're exhausted, they have nothing left in the tank, so we're going to put on the gas. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who or if anybody withdraws. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyla withdrew. I wouldn't be even surprised if Christy did. Because now she has to go with a full pack. Which, again, I don't know how long she'd been going with a pack that was too light. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So, it should be one more week after this, since they're doing 2 episodes a week. So next week should be dedicated to trying to not get captured, which we all know you're going to get captured no matter how good you are. Even if you get to where you're supposed to get to, you're still getting captured, because then it's interrogation. And like I said, given Cam's personality, I worry greatly if he were to make it that far. The others, I have less worry about interrogation, but, well, we'll see what happens and who makes it that far. I'm super bummed that Carrie is out. Carrie said Pink is going to be pissed. So, yeah. Yeah, we'll just have to see what happens next episode. So with that, I will see you guys in the next video.